November, trade 5138, 1 miles west, 1,800 feet, inbound to land runway 2.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream, my friends. I was having a bit too much fun with that music there. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another exciting flight today. We're going to be going today from, if you couldn't tell by the title, Phoenix, Arizona, all the way up to Reno, Nevada. It's going to be a great time here. I hope you guys are ready. We are back in the Fenix A320 once again. I'm trying to get good with this, with landing this thing. And so far, I think I've done okay. So, quick exterior shot here so you guys can see the beauty of the Phoenix. The amazing work that the third-party developer has put into this magnificent airplane. As some of you know, I trained originally on the A320, so this plane has a bit of a special place in my heart. Without further ado, though, it is almost 6 o'clock here for me. Kind of hungry, haven't eaten all day, but let's get into the cockpit. As always, I'll show you guys how to start the plane up, and we'll get on our way. So, here we are in the cockpit of the Fenix A320. Let's say we have maximum passengers on board today. We're going to do 136 passengers. Freight, let's do 3,700. And then at departure time, we can try and get out of here at 6:15. Actually, that's cutting it a little close. Let's try 6:20. Let's do that. Need to also open up Volanta because I completely missed that one last time. Not going to do that again. So airtime today is going to be 1 hour and 29 minutes. I'll do my pilot's announcement. I know a few of you who are watching today, you guys are quiet in the chat today. Either that or you don't have Twitch accounts. You should definitely get a Twitch account. But welcome, Amy. Welcome, Charlie. Everyone else. Simon. Luke, if you're there. Gotta check my... Alright. Volanta is set. Let's get going here. First things first... I'll just fix this real quick. Okay, batteries is number 1. And external power is available. Emergency exit lights go to arm. Nav lights going on. No smoking. And go on. And the IRSs will go to align. The airplane's going to come to life and do its thing. Forward cargo and aft cargo, we can get that going. Reset all. Seawood 90, thank you so much. Oh, hello, Amy. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. This is going to be a good flight today. Airplane's going to do its thing. Let's see here. We got to initialize our flight. We're going from Phoenix to Reno. That looks good. Off block in time minus 25 minutes. So that's good. Let's load the aircraft. Let's do it in real time. And so everything is going to start loading now. The passengers will come on board in a second. Our planned fuel and our loaded fuel. And then, sorry, cargo and loaded cargo. And then planned fuel, loaded fuel. So let me check that. Block fuel is going to be 17,180 pounds. That's correct. And cargo is going to be around 8,100 or 8,200 pounds. We only expect to burn about 8,600 pounds of fuel. So we should have plenty left over. Don't anticipate any weather here. Now let's go ahead and start up the most welcome, Simon. Let's go ahead and set up the flight computer for departure here. I'm still not entirely certain that there's no option to... Oh, I don't want that. There's no option to configure your SimBrief account here. There definitely should be something. Because how else does the tablet know that you're... I mean, unless it connects directly to the tablet, but... I'm going to try really quick to do this. Config. Data link config. Store as default. Let's see if that works. Company route. I wonder if we can get a company route. Okay. So we are going to be going from KPHX to KRNO. Throw that in the from to spot. I guess nothing's going to pop up here. Line on ref. Confirm a line. I'll have to do a little bit more digging into it, but either way, it's not a complicated route today. We're going to be American 2670 today. That's our flight number. Cost index is going to be 5. It's a cheap flight to operate today. Wind, we'll throw the wind request in there. Go to our plan. Phoenix departure. Wind data, blink OK. Going to be going off of runway 8. Following the Zephyr 2 departure. Zephyr 2 departure. Rista transition. Pop that in there, insert. And then after Rista, we are going direct to our next waypoint, DOBEE.
Echo 60 traffic Beechcraft, November 268.371 miles northwest, 1,800 feet inbound to land runway 2.
We don't need any of this. Okay. Sorry about that. After Dove, we're going direct to BTY. Bravo Tango Yankee. Then we're going to Keno, KENNO. And then we're going to be following the star into ILS 17 left. Do we even have an ILS into 17 left? I don't think we do. Okay. So we're doing a non-precision approach today, but that's fine. RNAV Yankee into 17 left. I think we could do that. Yeah, we'll do the RNAV Yankee into 17 left. RNAV Yankee 17 left, that's what we want. Following the Scola 1 arrival. Scola 1 arrival. KRNO transition. And clock. Via clock. Okay. That's what we want. Alrighty. So flight plan's looking okay here. Let's go ahead and be out of here by 6:20. So IRS is aligned in 2 minutes. Company message, that's fine. Put the constraints on here just so we have a little bit more information. Good Airbus practice. Flight directors will cycle them off and on both the captain and first officer side. Here is a preliminary look at our flight plan. Cruising flight level today, I guess that would help to put that in there, is going to be 36,000. Flight level 360. Pop that in there. And we'll come to plan and just kind of have a look over that. Make sure there's no discontinuities in the route. And it looks good to me. We're going to do an interesting little turn here onto a short final. So it's going to be a neat little approach today. We're going to need good weather. How are you guys today? What's going on? Y'all had a good day? Tell me. Departure weather here in Phoenix is going to be altimeter 2975. 2975. Wind is 160 at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. Few clouds 15,000. Temperature 42. It is boiling hot here. That's 108 Fahrenheit, 42 degrees Celsius. It's... Yeah, I know, Charlie, you've been going through it today. EasyJet, you should have seen the stream I was doing 2 days ago. I did one from London Luton into Ibiza. Our squawk code today is 1647. Oops. Just switch that to auto. Alrighty. GPS primary, which means our IRSs are fully aligned, which is good. The passengers are on board. Captain and purser, we'll get the crew supply on there. I'm going to turn down the air just because it's crazy hot outside right now. Yeah, pretty warm in the cabin too. GPS primary, that's fine. And we're going to need to finish the load sheet here before we actually send everything off to our flight computers for the final check. But what we can do in the meantime, in that case, is start setting up the takeoff calculations, which is going to be optimum flap configuration. Forced toga, no. Anti-ice off. Packs are going to be on. Takeoff weight, 147.8. Runway condition is dry. We'll sync the weather. Load just one more time, and we'll go calculate. Now, if we're doing an intersection departure as well, that's another thing we can take into consideration. Or if we're going to be using the full length. We can actually take Bravo 3 for the intersection. Bravo 3. Let's say 1149 minus probably about 750 feet. So that's going to give us, do some quick calculations. 1149 minus 750 gives you 10,739. 10,000. What did I say? I already forgot it. 739. 10,739. It's going to be Bravo 3. Let's calculate that one more time. Okay, so that gives us a V1 speed 152, rotate 152, and V2 153, which is pretty simple. Kind of just wants us at the full length departure, but that's fine. We can use an intersection. Send this information to the MCDU. It's going to come over here to the performance page, and our V speeds are going to be configured in here. Flaps is going to be 1, down 0.0 on the trim, stabilizer trim. And so that looks good. Hey, Sed, how are you? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Getting ready for takeoff here. It's really hot in this cockpit here. I wonder if we can get some air conditioning on the ground. I'm not sure what the PCA is, but I don't want to touch it because I know I've done that in the past and it's kind of screwed with things, so I don't really want to click something and then not have it work. I'm glad you're here. I love the little details that Fenix has put into this, and I do want to get the A321 and 319 as well, just so we can do a little bit more routes. So I want to get better with these planes. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'm pretty good with them in X-Plane, but it feels a little bit different in Microsoft Flight Sim. So, and plus, that's more opportunity for us to stream more routes to fly. Oops, don't want that. It's just a standby compass anyway, so. Okay, other than waiting for the passengers and the final load sheet here, which is going to be once, well, everybody's almost done. We should be ready to go very soon. We just need to make sure the fuel is all on board, and then we can send the information to the flight computer. Not a pilot in real life. I'm just an enthusiast. But I've been traveling ever since I was like 3 months old, so flying is kind of just traveling, flying, it's in my blood. Every year I've been traveling a lot. For someone my age, I've gone to some pretty cool places, and I'm very grateful for that. So, and then it's interesting because the first time I heard about the flight simulator, my dad used to have one back way long time ago, like late 90s kind of thing. And he was trying to learn it. So I'm just setting the initial climb out altitude here to 8,000. He could never figure out how to do it. And then I bought this. I bought X-Plane 10. I bought X-Plane 10 and figured at one point I'm actually going to learn how to do this at some point. And thankfully YouTube and stuff was a thing back then. So self-taught, I will admit, but I try to follow everything, listen to as many real pilots, meet as many real pilots as I can whenever I'm out traveling, and just learn about procedure, operations, just absorb as much knowledge as I can about this industry because I just love it. It's kind of a passion of mine. I don't want to turn it into a job though, because it is a rough schedule, especially when you're starting out, and you're away from home a lot. And I tend to think that whenever you turn something into a job, most of the time it becomes a little bit less enjoyable. Whereas if I keep it as a hobby, I'll always love what I'm doing, and I can do it completely on my own schedule, which is great. And I get to share it with you guys, so that's even more fun to me. And I wish I had started doing this a while ago, quite frankly. Okay. Boarding is complete. The information is sent to the flight computer here. We'll just check. 0 fuel weight and 0 fuel weight center of gravity. Block fuel is good. We have all of our information popped into the FMC here. And it's given us a profile to follow, which is good. Other than that, let's just check the company messages and we can get going here. AOC menu, received messages. It's just going to be the load sheet. 136 plus 6, which is going to be the cabin crew members. Okay. I'm glad I can move somebody today. This is going to be a good flight, guys. Alright, I did update Better Push back here, so it should work on the first try. Okay, I know how to use this, thank you. I completely reinstalled it and did an update to it, so see if it works. I'm praying. Alright. Pushback is filed. Everybody's on board, ready to go. It's getting really warm in here, so you know what? I'm gonna actually start the EPU. We'll hit the master switch on the overhead panel. It's gonna give us a message down here. EPU. Once the flap is open here, once we get the message that the APU flap is open, we can go ahead and start it. Flap open, start, and then you will see the rising of the EGT and the turbine here. Looking good. No smoking. We can get the seatbelts on now. I'm just reading my charts here, and it says, warning, low sun angles during early morning and early evening may make it difficult to see the runway. Pilots have landed on the wrong runway during these time periods. Let's try and not do that. What'd you say? Alright, APU is running. We'll go up here and get the APU bleed on. Can't really see it well, but APU bleed, that'll get our air conditioning going. I'm going to crank down the air in the cockpit here because it's fucking hot. Almost 100 degrees in here. Alright, we'll close the door. And we'll call for the push in a minute. We can leave 5 minutes early, who cares?
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Okay, ground services, GPU is going away. The tug is coming up. Jetway is going to go. Jetway is gone. Beacon light's going to go on. That's the red flashing light on the bottom of planes that you see. It's mainly an alert for ground crew and other aircraft in the area. Get that out of here. Predictive wind shear is going to go to auto. This is going to go to auto.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes are set. You may lift. Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Okay, I'm going to turn this down just
We
a
are
little
cleared
bit.
for start and push. Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
All right, folks. Are we ready to go?
Please release parking brake. Parking brakes are released. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence. It will start in the sequence.
All right, here we go. I do have some custom scenery here for Phoenix, so you can see the mountains and a little bit of greenery on the side of the airport there. As we push back from the gate here, ground crew. Oh, looks like you guys didn't get your bags on board in time. No one's getting their bags when they get to Reno. Okay. Engine start, ignition, engine number 1. Engine number 1 start selector is here. You hear the packs go off, and the bleed air will pump air into the starter. There's an SAS plane over there. And you will hear the engine
pushback
start.
completed. Please set your parking brake.
Park brakes on.
Parking brake set. Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Can you hear those engines?
Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect. Roger. Good engine start. Cleared to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight. Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Okay. Perfect. Ground crew is going to head off. I love the sound of that. There's nothing sweeter. All right. Oh, I'm a silly goose. I didn't put the fuel pumps on. There we go. That's why I was thinking, am I hearing the Airbus, like, caution chime in the back of my headset, but that was me. A little oversight. We won't worry about it. Okay, after start checklists, we will arm the speed brakes. Flaps going to position 1. Auto brake RTO. APU bleed off and APU master off. Engine start selector goes to normal. Flaps are in position. Flight controls. Full left. Full right. Elevators. Full left rudder. Full right rudder. Alright, flight controls are free and correct, and we don't need to touch the pitch trim because it is down 0.0. So it's already at 0.0 right now. Okay, nose light is going to go to taxi, runway turnoff lights goes to on, APU is off. Alright my friends, let's get taxiing here. Is that SAS plane still there? Or is it gone away by now? Can't see. Okay, let's hop on taxiway Bravo here. TO config test normal. Just want to make sure all that data is up to date. Still active and good. I have a hard time keeping this thing on the center line, honestly. Kind of makes me grumpy. I do need to link this reset camera position button. I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna figure it out real quick. I just love the sounds on this airplane. It just sounds so good. I can't explain it. Alright, there's the cabin crew telling us they're ready.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. Alright, we're looking for Bravo 3. We'll have to slow it down a little bit here. This is Bravo 7. Sorry about that, just replying to some messages. In typical fashion, we will give the cabin crew a message there. Flight attendants, please be seated for departure. Alright, folks. Ready for takeoff? Okay, before takeoff checklist, TCAS, TARA, landing lights going to on, strobe light going to on, nose light goes to on, wing light goes to on, whoops. Alright folks, we are ready. Phoenix Tower, American 2670. Ready for departure, holding short, Bravo 3, ready for departure, runway 8. And the Phoenix Tower will come back and say American 2670, wind 160 at 6 knots, runway 8, clear for takeoff. Okay, clear for takeoff on runway 8, American 2670. Alrighty, let's go. Just because it's such a nice day out, I'll try and hand fly it a little bit so you guys can see. Alright, let's get going. Start the clock, chrono. Manflex 56, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Break, you're up. Nav. Okay, we'll pitch for speed. Disarm the spoilers. Make sure we climb at autopilot 1. Make sure we hit the safe climb out speed after 200 knots. Just a sec. Flaps clean. Speed check. And nose light can go off. And how nice was that takeoff, folks? Love it. Looks great. So we're climbing up to 8,000 feet now. That's our initial top altitude that we're cleared to fly to before we need clearance. You can really see the mountains from up here. And it's really a beautiful scenery up here. How we doing, folks? You guys ready for your in-flight drinks? Charlie, did you have any alcohol on the plane home? You can numb the pain? Oh no! Yeah, that's true. They don't agree with alcohol. Really, not a lot of medication you can drink with. Okay, Altstar, we have to level off here, 9,000 feet. We just have to be below 9,000 for the next waypoint here, Goli, which is going to be coming up in about 4 nautical miles. So the airplane's going to level off here. Could change the range a little bit so we can see more of our flight plan. Get the weather radar on just for good measure. I will set the cruising altitude next to, really we can just clear ourselves up to, there's no more altitude constrictions, so we can just clear ourselves up to 36,000, I think was the, yeah, 36,000. Now in real life there's going to be like a pile of constrictions that you have to follow, clearances that you have to receive. In this case, I'm not flying online, I'm just flying by ourselves here, so we can just kind of clear ourselves as we go. And generally speaking, if you're a real pilot and you ask a controller for a specific clearance, they're going to do their best to give it to you anyway. So 10,000 feet coming up, which is our next point where we have to check some things off the airplane. The airplane's going to pitch down just slightly with that vertical speed. It's going to come down just a little bit so we gain more airspeed here. 10,000 feet is when we are allowed to turn off our landing lights, our wing light, and legally allowed to turn off the seatbelts. That might not be procedure in every airline, by the way. Every airline has their own set of standard operating procedures that they have to follow. But for our sake, we'll just turn them off. And then next point we have to check is at 18,000 feet, which is the transition altitude in the United States and Canada, in which the units of measurement change from inches of mercury to a standardized local pressure of 29.92 inches of mercury, or I believe it's 1012 QNH hectopascals. In the US they use inches of mercury to measure. In Europe and other places they use hectopascals. Okay, temperature in the cabin looks good. Airplane is performing as we want it to. No indication of any failures. Flight controls are behaving as expected. Everything's still good. Real temperature is going to drop as we climb higher. So far, so good, folks. Now, there are ways to set custom failures into this aircraft. You can test your skills if you wish. I assume that's the... yeah. Now, what is this? ATA 34. That can't be right because my alignment is already completed. I would have known if it wasn't. So I don't know what that's all about. It might be a bug. I guess I could reload it, but I don't want to touch anything because we're doing well so far. But this is the page where on the electronic flight bag you can set literally anything to fail. I appreciate that, Charlie. I do my best. This is the plane I trained on, so... The more complex the simulators get, and the more complex the add-ons get, like this one, this is really... For example, I was watching a video on this airplane specifically, and if the wind is blowing in a specific direction so hard, it can actually stall the engine. So, like, this plane is that level of detail that it reacts to the environmental changes around it. So, 18,000 feet at the moment. We're going to pull the knob here. It's going to change to standard pressure setting. And apart from any other clearances, this is really the part where we can give ourselves a little bit of relaxation time. We have clearance in this case to go all the way up to 36,000, so it's just going to proceed to climb to that altitude there. Appreciate y'all tuning in today. Let me know what you guys are up to for the rest of the night. Yeah, I love those mountains. I think the Sierra Nevada mountains, not too sure. Let me see, I think I can find out. I would assume it's that, but... Microsoft Flight Simulator truly does an amazing job at graphics because it takes real photo imagery from Bing Maps and puts it right into the simulator. And of course, there's always upgrades you can get to that 3D imaging as well, but for the purpose, I think this does just fine, quite frankly. I don't need any more updates. It depends how much money you're willing to throw into it, too. I mean, I've spent a lot of money on this, but some people really go all out. Home cockpits, upgrades this and that. I find for home cockpits, I mean, you really have to love one particular airplane that you want to fly, and you only fly that plane, because otherwise you can invest a whole pile of money for nothing. Nice. Winning. Hopefully winning. Best wishes for you, said. Let's jump back up to the flight deck real quick, just see what's going on. Looks good, and the cabin is pressurizing normally. We can see that by the cabin altitude here in feet. If you guys have any questions about the airplane, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. Any questions about the instruments or components or anything like that? Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You can check out the landing later on YouTube if you want. Hope you feel better, brother. Of course, we'll see you later. $29,000 feet here. Estimated time of arrival is just over an hour. I'm thinking also about getting a new webcam for my computer. Any of you guys stream? If any of you guys stream with web cameras, let me know. Let me know what you use. I'm looking for different options. I found one, but it's about $300, so I'm kind of holding off because I have other things to pay for right now. So, but yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. There's some really cool scenery, as in the topography changing in the desert. It's really interesting. You can see the salt pits, and small lakes that used to be there. Quite fascinating, actually. Also, if anyone streams on console, let me know, because I have a couple of questions for you, because there's... I'd be interested to ask you a couple of questions. Cuddle95, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friend. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate that a lot. A big fan. Do I know you? Okay, now I know it's Harry. Hello, Harry. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, thank you very much. I'm a big fan of you. Jump back up into the cockpit here real quick. For those of you who are a little bit interested in the thank you. For those of you who might be interested in, oops. Get out of here. Interested in the just because I know a lot of this is intimidating for many people. If you're not really interested in the industry at all, it's look at this and you go, wow, that's scary, all these buttons and controls. And honestly, this is a lot more streamlined than what you'd find in a cockpit from back in 1990, 1980. So really quick, the ADIRS here, ADIRS or IRS is actually known in Boeing airplanes, basically controls your navigation computer. So there's 3 computers. That's what these 3 switches are here for. I do not want to touch them because if you switch them off in flight, you cannot get them back on, which begs the question as to why they don't have a little guard cover over them, but they're kind of out of the way, so they really aren't at risk of being touched in flight. But you know me and my mouse. So anyway, ADIRS, your engine fire switches appear, so in case you have an engine fire in flight, or you need to shut down the, what happens if I crash? Microsoft Flight Simulator just gets pissy. They just say, oh no, you crashed, and nothing really happens. It's really not as exciting as you think it would be. It doesn't go up in flames, it doesn't do any of that. It just kind of, you know, you just kind of slam into the ground. Nothing else happens. Evacuation for evacuating the plane in case of an emergency. Emergency electrical power. The GPWS, ground proximity warning system. You can switch the warnings. By default, they're all on. Every commercial airplane certified to carry more than 12 passengers must have a GPWS. So you can inhibit those warnings if you want to, so they don't blare out. Say you're doing a complex approach between mountains, you can turn off the terrain warning, and then it won't give you any terrain alerts. The flight recorder, oxygen, cabin crew call, wipers. Up here is the hydraulic panel, fuel panel, electrical panel. Airbus has a lights out philosophy, so if anything is off, it will illuminate. So to make sure everything is on, you shouldn't see any lights. So that's the philosophy there. Air conditioning here, anti-ice, it's all pretty self-explanatory. It's all labeled. The auxiliary power unit you're going to need for before pushback and after landing. Lights, instruments, cabin signs, standby radio up here. You can control the heat in the cargo area. And then, of course, the autopilot panel here. The ECAM, electronic centralized aircraft monitoring system, gives the crew information about what's going on in the airplane. Check the status of all the systems. Everything's normal. Flight computers here, captain and first officer. Engine controls, engine 1 and 2. Flaps, speed brakes. Just wanted to make sure it was disarmed. Landing gear lever right here. Transponder. Your weather radar. Primary radios. Of course, thrust levers here. And obviously, in layman's terms, that's it. But I could go on forever telling you all what the systems do, how they work with one another. But yeah. Alright folks, so what I'm going to do is let you guys enjoy the lovely scenery outside. I'm going to go ahead and check on dinner, see if there's any food, or when I could be eating. Enjoy the scenery, folks, and I will be back with you before we descend. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the flight deck. We are here descending through 31,500 feet on approach into Reno, Nevada. Everything looks good so far. The weather is looking good, just some light wind. Clear visibility, 33 degrees Celsius. That's about 91 Fahrenheit, so it's still pretty warm. Everything looks good. We are doing a non-precision approach today, so it's going to be a little bit different than the standard ILS that we're used to. But not too much changes procedurally within RNAV approach. This is just reviewing. We do just have to be aware that the sea level, the altimeter measures the altitude above sea level. The barometric pressure here is 4,754, which is going to be our minimums. So this is 4,754 feet above sea level, which Reno is actually about 4,415 feet above sea level. So quite high up there. But we're just on a nice smooth descent right now. And in a minute we will clear ourselves down to 10,000 feet. The airplane can follow that path that it's set for itself.
Oscar 4 trade traffic tower, November 1827 Echo, taking off runway 20 departure to the north.
I don't need that. Decent! And dinner's ready, so I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go and eat after we land. Pilot needs a meal at the restaurant at the Reno airport. We have a direct headwind of 10 knots, so it's good for helping our speed. We don't really need to control it too much at this point. But if we did, it would be great. I'm going to be parking at gate Charlie 9 today. So we're going to have to figure out where that is exactly. Apparently I've flown into Reno 3 times before. Or more. I've done this route apparently 3 times. So apparently I've been here 4 times. I don't remember any of them. Maybe 1. But hopefully the terminal building's not too hard to find. Otherwise we're gonna have to make do with something else. 24,500 feet. Just a phenomenal view up here. Clear skies. Couldn't ask for better weather. Alright, we can go ahead and, for these runway calculations here, for the landing performance calculations, I've set the auto brake to medium, which gives us a stopping margin, which gives us, well, a distance calculated at just under 6,100 feet, considering we're using auto brake medium. So we'll select auto brake medium. I'm going to put the terrain radar on the first officer's display just because we do have some terrain approaching this area and into this airport. Nothing that should be too complicated to navigate though, just because it's daytime and we are expert pilots. But it is worth mentioning in any approach briefing that there is some terrain around the airport. And a missed approach procedure would include avoiding terrain, so... Hope you guys are all having a great day out there, wherever you are. If this scenery doesn't make you want to visit the desert, I don't know what will. $19,500, we are getting closer here. Engines are at idle. Alright, the speed has decided to... we do have a speed constriction here, so... 3011 is what I have in my flight computer for the QNH. That's what I'll use here. It's going to ask us for more drag, so we'll give it more drag. Because we do need to increase our vertical speed here. Let's get back on profile. Alright, we can put the speed brake away now. On speed, on profile, everything's looking good so far. Whoa. Bit of lag on my computer there. Okay, just 15,000 just because we are roughly 10,000 feet above the ground. I'll get the seatbelts on, landing lights on, and wing light on. landing system on here. And it is going to ask us to slow down even further very soon. Which we will probably need the speed brake for. Okay, I'm actually going to start slowing the airplane down a little bit early here. Okay, so we have armed the approach navigation. Use vertical speed here just to slow us down a little bit. Arm the ground spoilers. Okay, final approach fix is going to be 6,400 feet. Okay, let's go ahead and, as soon as it's safe, we'll go ahead and extend flaps 1. We have to be very careful here. Flaps 1, speed check. Go to 210 knots here. We have to be 210 knots anyway. It's going to be a maximum, so you know what? I'm going to actually slow down to 190 knots for this approach. So as you guys can see already, it's a little bit different than what we're used to. Okay, so we are on final now, so we are doing the RNAV approach here. Airplane's going to slow down to 190 knots. And we're going to be making a turn here. I'm going to go ahead and just set it so that it's comfortable to 180 knots. Don't have the airport in sight. Yep, we do have the airport in sight. Okay. So we'll go flaps 2. Speed check. Drop the speed even more. 133 knots is what we're going to look for. So we'll just dial it back all the way to 133. Honestly, let the airplane do its thing. Nose light's going to go to takeoff. I'll confirm flaps 3. And we'll put the gear down. Flaps full. Speed check. Okay, gears down, 3 greens. As you can see, we put the gear down a little bit early. Just anticipation of this turn here. 2,500 feet, roughly. And it's going to be an interesting approach here as we fly along this path. Gonna be a short final too. Anyway, folks, enjoy the landing. I'm gonna concentrate for a little bit here.
2,500.
Checked. Okay, so we're coming up on 6,400 feet. It should go lower than this altitude because we've set the RNAV approach to final. So we've set the autopilot to basically the computer is going to create a glide slope beacon for us, if you will, which doesn't actually exist.
2,000.
2,000. Checked. Cabin's ready. We'll let the airplane straighten out here, and then I will take control. Perfect, it's going lower, so we have that descent path. Missed approach altitude is going to be 13,000. But let's try and nail this, shall we? There's the runway. As you can see, we're coming in very steeply. I mean, there's definitely been worse, but steep for me because I don't usually do RNAV approaches, especially like this one. It's a little bit more complicated. Golf course right below us. And then the rest of this approach is really going to be visual. So take it down a little bit further, and then we can take control around 500 feet. $500. Checked. I have control. And we're just kind of eyeballing it now.
300. Minimum.
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 40. 20. Retard.
Lag. Okay, and as per usual, I can't stay on the center line with these damn rudder pedals. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Reno. Let's get that APU going here. That was a fun little approach, don't you think? Alright, flight director's landing system can go off. Clean up the flaps here. Disarm the spoilers. I'm going to be crossing this runway here. Right, and we will go on to taxiway Bravo, which is right here. We're gonna have to cross one more runway, so I'm not even gonna bother turning off the lights and so on. We can stop the clock though. Charlie 9, so let me have a look here what the parking situation is. It's going to be the November pad. Excuse me. Okay, landing lights can go off. Strobe lights can go off. Don't really need the runway turn off lights on either. Wing light can go off. APU bleed can go on. TCAS can go to standby. Weather radar can also go off. Don't mind me in the center line. I can't keep this thing straight if I tried. I should get something to bind for a tiller. I just find it so sensitive, you know? Side stick, fine. Pitch controls and everything else, it's just this. The rudder that really, not even the rudder, it's just the steering. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and next exit here is the one we're looking for. Hotel is the ramp we're looking for. Charlie 9 is going to be this gate right here. How good does this thing look, huh? Okay, park brake is going to go on. Engine master 1 and 2 going off. Alright, we'll start the deboarding here. Ground power unit. Jetway is going to come. And there you have it, my friends. Gonna have a bath? Okay. Sounds good. I'm gonna get some food because I'm super hungry. I'm very hungry. I haven't eaten all day. Anyway, that was a fun little approach. Everybody's gonna be deboarding now. Good landing rate too, 150 feet per minute. It's right on target. I think I got the hang of the Phoenix now, so this is good. Anyway, I want to thank you all so much for sticking around and sharing this flight with me. It's a fun little experience to go up to Reno again. Haven't been here in a while, so hopefully next tomorrow, or probably not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, probably Friday and Sunday we can do another flight. Apart from that, I'd like to thank everybody who also subscribed to the channel. It's really helpful. It's helping me get to affiliates, so grow this into a little side business to me is really awesome. I can't do it without you guys, so thank you all so much for tuning in. And until the next flight, let me know as well if you want to see a different airplane. We can try out the 777. We can go on a longer route. We can go to... Thank you very much, Zed. We can go anywhere. Let me know. Route ideas and airplanes, and I will make it happen. Until next time, folks. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you next time.